Witches Hill.
I've had a lot of coffee.
Yes.
A lot of coffee.
I got addicted to those monster coffees. I never thought I'd like them, but when we were, one of those times we were playing a show and we were at the hotel room, I got one, and since then I've been addicted. They are so good.
What show were we playing?
Madison? I think that was with, oh my god.
Was that the incident?
One of the incidents.
One of.
Look at Pat doing things.
Yeah, look at me doing stuff.
He's doing stuff.
Yeah. I'm typing out words in English.
English?
Yeah, and I barely get by with that language.
I mean, what other language would you be posting in? Gaelic?
No, a little bit, but not enough to get by.
Why haven't you gone to Ireland? Hey, you told me you might be going over to England next year.
Yeah.
You need to go to Ireland. When we had a layover there,
yeah,
and when the plane was approaching, we were on an Irish Airlines, and they tell us right before we're about to land that we're on our approach, and then they tell us again in Gaelic. I was like, this is interesting.
Did you know it was actually Gaelic?
I mean, I could tell from the little bit I've heard you speak it, I could pick up on, I know what this is.
I mean, it's very, Hi, Lil! Hi, Lil, we see you there.
Hello.
We see you there. We're just waiting to gain some traction. I'm horrible at multitasking, trying to put up a post. Yeah, you look pretty.
Welcome.
You look pretty.
I am the prettiest belle of the ball. Thank you.
You would be something about balls. I wasn't listening. What?
It's an ever-going fantasy of yours, is it?
To hit you in the face with a ball? I could do it.
Lilith says hi.
Oh, hi. Oh, hi.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. It'd be great if somebody named Mark joins, though. It could be like, oh, hi, Mark.
No.
I'm doing it. The second I get a chance to do it, I'm doing it.
You know, I mean, I want viewers and, watchers. Well, but I now don't want a Mark just for that reason. Because I would just be like, ugh.
I'd respect him. I would respect him.
And every time he says something or reacts, that's what you would, what you'd say.
Oh, hi, Mark. He said this. And then just cut right back into character. That'd be perfect.
Every time. And you gotta, snap to it. It's gotta be, a sudden. Oh, hi,
sudden?
Mark. Yeah.
Oh.
So, very.
Hi, Veronica.
Hello, Veronica.
Hello. Yeah, you saw that too?
Yes, I did.
That was
It
weird.
confused me.
But all the emojis just lit up because of the stupid scroller we have because we can't do anything right here. Not anymore.
No.
No.
Nope.
But anyway, welcome back to Witches Hill. We are... That's Tim.
And that's Pat. I don't know what he just did to me, though.
I touched you.
Someone please isolate that file.
Oh, no.
Yes. Yes.
Hi, Nikki.
Hello.
So we are going to be talking about paranormal occurrences that have happened to us that throughout the entire time of us being friends, we've had a lot of weird stuff happen and a lot of things that we just can't explain.
I guess you could say early on it definitely fueled our budding relationship.
You say butting or budding?
Budding.
Spooky. But yeah, it definitely incited us to kind of take the camera out and kind of see what is more behind the veil, so to speak.
Way to be cryptic.
Well, I mean, some of the weird stuff that originally started happening to us was that we would take photos in random places, and there was one in front of our old friend Ryan's house, and when he took the I took the photo, you blew smoke in front of the camera.
I took the photo of you. I took a drag of the cigarette, and you said take a picture of me.
Oh, yeah.
I took a drag of my cigarette, blew the smoke, and just took a picture.
And right about here in the photo, you see a skull from, with the jaw removed. And you could see the teeth, the eyes, the nose, the shape of everything. It was
perfect detail.
It was creepy as shit. Sadly, lost the photo.
Everyone in your family saw it.
Yes.
Everyone in your family saw it, so I'm happy that we have at least people more than just us to say, hey, this happened, guys.
Yeah, we don't see things like on a daily. We're not...
Maybe not me.
Ill. What?
Maybe not me, but you've seen quite a bit.
I said we're not ill, not that we don't see weird, spooky shit.
Oh, okay.
Making me seem crazy.
Oh, man. Well, wait till you hear some of the stories.
As of right now, we do have a video that we've talked about before if you've heard any of the other episodes on the podcast, but there's a video out called The Thing at Melrose, and it's on our YouTube channel. It's about 2 hours long. We did an investigation in Melrose Park, and a bunch of crazy shit happened.
You can say that again.
Too much to explain, and that 2 hour video has been cut down from like 12 hours. Holy crap, that shocked the hell out of me.
Hello.
I didn't expect the door to be so squeaky.
How's it going?
We had an unexpected visitor.
Yes, we are live right now.
Sorry.
Oh.
But yeah, my train just went off the bridge.
That's okay. A bunch of people died. And more ghosts!
Oh, I thought you were talking about something else.
Okay.
It's bath
That's
time
okay.
here at Witches Hill.
Just leave it crack.
Hi, Matt!
Hi, Matt!
Thank you. He says we look awfully pretty.
Oh, stop, you!
we're glad that we can be some eye candy.
Yes, I know. Because
Yeah,
we are...
Some sweet to go along with the spookies that's been going on.
You gotta have some eye candy for the spookiness.
Oh, yeah, you have to.
God.
Fuck, I completely just lost my spot of like what I was just thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so yeah, along with all the other weird stuff that happened to us, like with the photos, there was another one that he took of me, and I told you just to take a photo directly above me.
Didn't if you're talking about the one with all the orbs, I think that was a progression shot because you kept pointing somewhere and I would take a picture, and then you'd see like a few orbs, but it's like we're outside, so it's like okay, this maybe. Then you point over the other side of the road, so I take a picture over there, and then there's like 3 times as many orbs, and it's like okay, and then you point above you and I take a picture, and then there's.
And to explain this, we're away from light, we're away from everything. The camera was clean, it wasn't rainy, there was no moisture in the air. It was a really dry day. I mean, I can't tell you how many times we've gone out just paranormal hunting and trying to find stuff during a drought. I started a fire in a field once. But yeah, that's
It's not really a ghost story, but that was funny.
It could have made ghosts.
Didn't you have the fire department called on you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, county was there and... Oops! Yeah, you don't play with fireworks during a drought.
No, don't.
Yeah, that's on me and my parents for letting me do it.
I mean, the sad thing is you can't really say it was fireworks. Wasn't it just this like fucking sparkler?
Yeah.
Illinois fireworks. Let's be specific here.
Oh yeah, non-fireworks. A glamorous stick. Hi Gary Miller. We see you there.
Gary Miller, how are you, sir?
Oh, hi Gary.
Not the same.
I know it's not the same, but I'm building up to it. Eventually we'll get there. Eventually we will get there.
Yeah.
But speaking of people who are currently watching, Matt Judd actually posted up a story for us that he liked to share, and I totally brought up the wrong thing.
He brought up the wrong thing.
I did bring up the wrong thing, because that was for next week's episode. Yes, here we go. Alright, so he shared a little experience with us. When I was a kid at my grandparents' house in Addison, is when I saw my first ghost. I turned the corner to go down the stairs, and at the bottom, there was a girl in all black with long black hair that covered her face. I started to go down the stairs when she looked up at me. I could just barely see her eyes that were all black, and she had real pale skin. I took another step down, and her mouth seemingly unhinged like a snake, and she let out a blood-curdling scream and bolted down the rest of the staircase. I ran down after her, and she was nowhere in sight. My grandparents moved away shortly after, but I remembered that even before this house always had an unsettling feeling there. Yeah, fuck that, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's real fucking creepy. You saw the Grudge chick.
That's like a mix of The Grudge and the girl from The Ring.
That's
in your house.
That's creepy.
Yeah, dude, get rid of your TV.
Get rid of your TV.
Yeah, get rid of your TV. If you want to live, you got to stop tuning into stuff. That's how it happened, man.
That is how it happened.
But no, I would never want to see something like that. I saw something similar, but not.
I would say the closest thing I saw. This was probably actually my first experience, and it was with you. We were walking from my. We were walking down Clyde, I think it was, and we were talking about specifically like the feelings you get from like if you sense something around you. And as I turned to talk to you about it, I just kind of looked past you, and it's in between. It must have been. It was dark out. It was pretty late. I don't remember what time exactly it was.
It was, I don't know, probably like 8 o'clock in the fall time.
It was
it got darker early, and you always went home like not late.
Yeah, because I couldn't stay out past when it got dark.
Street lights out, you go home.
So I look past you, and you're in between these two houses, and like I said, it's night. So in between these houses, we live in an unincorporated area, so it's pretty fucking dark, and it was just pitch black behind these houses. But there was this one point, which was like, the only way I've known how to describe it was like, it was blacker than black. It was just like super black. And it just, I don't know, my eyes were immediately drawn to it, and it just gave me this sense like someone was fucking staring at me.
It was like absolute black, where there was just no other shade of dark. It was just absolute nothingness. That's what it kind of looked like. It was between these two houses, and wasn't there like a tree, like in the next to one of those houses?
No, well, in the front area. It wasn't in the back where the darkness really was.
Yeah. The only thing I really remember of that, because I thought you were just screwing with me. I walked away, and I walked down to the end of the street, and I'm standing down there looking back at you, and you're just like deadpanning in between these two houses into the dark. And I looked down the road that we were going to go towards back when the prison was still there.
Yeah.
We grew up in a great neighborhood. But we were going to start walking down that way, and there was a light down there about 2 blocks away, and there's like this like ditch next to the road.
Yeah, it's like the way it looks is like you got the road right here, and then there's 2 ravines that go off on the side.
Mm-hmm. And the side that I'm talking about had this like retention pond that they kind of made look nice after a while. And in that area, like, it's all rocks, goes down into the little ditch, and then the road. Some shadow of someone jumped over the ditch into the center of the road where the double lines are. Stopped. I could swear that it like turned to me or away from me, because the way it looked was like this. Goes like this, turns back, and then dives out of the way, back in the same way that it came out. And when I look back, you are in like full speed walking towards me, like you're on a mission towards me, and I'm just like...
Because that was right after I saw my thing.
Which is either coincidental or...
That's fucking creepy. You know what I just thought of, though? That was after... I'm not going to fully explain this story because I don't want to admit certain things. But we were walking down that same road at one point, and you specifically looked at me. This must have been like 3 or 4 years before that event happened. And you're like, I wonder if I can jump over that ditch.
Oh, yeah.
So that was in the
same thing.
That was in the same spot, though.
It was like maybe a block or 2 away, but yeah, the same distance was like I couldn't make it all the way over this ditch, and yet this thing. How far would you say that is? Probably like 10, 15 feet from the other side of the ditch to the middle of the road.
I would say 10 feet across, and you got to jump like 4 feet up, because that ditch goes pretty deep.
Yeah. So I don't know what that is, but like people say that they've seen like shadow figures and stuff like that. I don't know. I think that's the closest thing I'll ever want to get to Slender Man, if that was ever an actual thing.
kind of the way you describe it kind of makes me think of like a Wendigo or something, or like the rake.
I could see the rake, not a Wendigo. Like if that thing had like antlers and shit, do you really think I'd just be like, all right, let's walk down that road? Like, okay, I guess.
I mean, we still continued to walk that way afterwards.
No, I know, but like I was on the other side of the road, just like as we passed by it.
Yeah, well.
Nikki says that seen shadow people, but some of them vibrate into a blur. Yeah.
Weirdly enough, I know exactly what you mean by that.
Yeah, it's almost like it dissipates in a way.
And in a way that it's really hard to describe, too.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the perfect way. Just kind of like gone, you know? Especially when you see it out of the corner of your eye and you go to focus in on it. And it's just like, you could be looking directly at it, right wherever it was, and it just kind of like blends back into the shadow. Like, connects. I don't know.
So why don't we make this interesting? Now, for anyone who's just been joining the podcast lately...
like the Flash does. Spot on, Nikki.
We have a little, quote-unquote, game with these paranormal stories. Pat has, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, Pat has experienced quite a bit since we were like, little fucking dudes.
That's little dudes. Little lads.
Little assholes. So he has... I'm going to show this to them. He has a list. I don't know if you can see this.
And it's kind of bright on our end.
You can kind of see. But there's like all these different experiences that he has written down and numbered.
Yeah, noteworthy incidences. They're numbered up to 85.
So I'm going to pick a random number and we're going to listen to what this story is because he's got some good ones peppered in here.
No, you can't look. I'm covering him.
All right. Between 1 and 85.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you did them in a particular order. I can't remember. So I'm going to say 63.
63. Making me turn pages?
Yes, I am.
63. Oh, the bowl breaking in half. Yeah, that was something that I could not explain.
Okay.
I put a ceramic bowl on my bed. I walked out of the room, and I was gone maybe 3 minutes. Came back in there, looked down at the bowl, and it's broken in half. And not like a direct break. It like serpentined through the middle of it. But there were no like broken pieces or shards or anything. No one was in my room. Nobody was in there. It was some... I don't know, it was weird shit, dude, but like just the bowl itself literally just in half, just like a clam. It was so bizarre. Now, I literally cannot explain that because it was in the middle of the bed, there's nothing around it, no shelves, nothing. And I don't think my cat could have done that.
I mean, plus, didn't your cat, like, go nowhere near the room?
Very skittish of the room at the time when that happened, yeah. My dog didn't even go in there. That's a different story. If you get that number, I'll tell you.
I mean, that's a constant through a lot of your stories. I mean, even when I'm there, you could tell, like, his dog loved being around us all the fucking time, but there were certain times that he would just, like, will not come in the room. Will just stand in the room looking at us and, like, start barking and whining at us.
Hi, Shirley.
Hi.
You know what's weird? You just saying those stories, or we're saying the stories. Lilith just said, yo, the connection just got weird as hell.
Really?
Knock it off, spirit things.
I will say, there is an earlier episode of the podcast, sometime last year. We were setting up to do a paranormal experience episode.
Oh yeah, that's not on here.
That's not on here, but this, ended up being set back 5 hours. From when we set out to start the recording to when we actually started recording.
You can actually find that recording on the Podbean or wherever you're going to get these episodes on the podcast.
Wherever you stream the podcast.
Yeah, wherever you stream the
podcast. And we got set back because as soon as we started, we were just like doing the normal level checks and checking out the connection with all of our equipment. And then it started glitching out on us pretty weird. And we were like, okay, this is being weird. Let's just hit record. Let's step outside, have a cigarette, and see. Let's see how it goes. But we left it recording. And we come back in, and it's still recording. So we're like, okay, so connection should be good. We should be able to record. And as I'm going through just to make the video, just to make sure that like everything stayed, there was no weird clipping or anything like that, I'm listening. And then you start hearing my kitchen cabinets opening and closing. And there's like one of those like pull lock things where it's got the ball bearing that you have to like pull it over. So you need force to pull it open and closed. And then we hear this, so we start conducting EVP after EVP after EVP, and we're getting like intelligent responses.
We did it on both of our phones.
On the laptop.
Did we have the tape recorder? Or
I don't know if we had the tape recorder on us.
Okay.
But yeah, and did we save? What did we do with all of that footage? Is that on like a YouTube anywhere?
Sorry, I'm like in and out of what you're saying because I'm reading these 3 comments from Lil, Veronica, and Nikki, and they say that they saw some like blurred around me. Bullshit. Fucking god damn it. Well, if I die, you guys know why. Just I don't know. Put me into a cool box. I want to be put into your mysterious box.
My mystery box?
Yeah, or into a Chucky doll.
While we were in Italy, I got a hidden box. It's great. You can open it, but like, how do you open it? Ooh. I love that thing.
I would say with a hammer, but that's not the right answer.
I would be so fucking mad. That thing was expensive. Okay, so yeah, it's weird to know that as we go through these paranormal episodes, we seem to be experiencing more and more problems. I'm gonna have to go back and watch this video, see if it cuts out.
If it got on our end, like they noticed it, but I mean,
everything looks fine on our end.
Yeah, but who knows what we'll find? You know, maybe we'll like go back and hear something behind us talking, like laughing or being like, "I'm gonna kill Pat." You know, which
and to all
has been recorded once.
Oh man,
Melrose House, no joke.
Yeah, you can check out the Melrose House video on YouTube.
Yeah, the thing at Melrose.
And to all of our listeners listening in on the podcast, if you'd like to join in on some of these episodes, like our friends Nikki, Veronica, Lilith, Shirley, if you want to join in and partake in some of these episodes, follow us on Facebook and just occasional episodes we like to do live like this one.
Yeah, it's always fun to have some interaction rather than just talking to you.
Yeah, I know. It gets...
Anyway.
Yeah,
I hate this guy. All right, so you picked 63.
You want me to pick another?
Unless somebody else wants to comment a number, one between 85.
Yeah, pick a number. In the meantime, I will pick out one.
Okay.
But yes, I want you guys to just pick out a number. Or, if you have stories, go ahead and post them up in the comment section on the video, and we will read it too. So, in the meantime, while we wait.
Yeah, so all the people on the podcast aren't missing out on a single thing.
No.
They get to hear our disgusting voices a little bit longer. Yes.
I'm going to pick number 14.
Number 14. Actually, this one wasn't even me. This happened at my house when I wasn't there. My dad is really into like paranormal stuff as well, just very, very open-minded about pretty much everything. And one night when my mom unfortunately was in the hospital, he decided to put we only had one dog at the time. He put the dog away and the cats were locked in the room with him. So he ends up setting up a camera, a tape recorder, and I think that's about it. But he sets it up on the far end of our house. So there's literally nothing there. There's no one that can make any noise. The animals are all put away, so literally any noise that might even faintly be heard would be coming from either outside or if my dad woke up. He was asleep when this happened. And you hear and see, just off camera, the paper moving. Like there's a little wooden table about maybe 2 or 3 feet away from where everything was set up.
Okay.
And you start hearing this, you start hearing like the paper flying around, and it's unmistakable. Like there's a newspaper there, like loose and everything like that. And that's one thing. You're like, okay, maybe that could be a breeze. Okay. We always like to try to debunk stuff as much as we can, because there's no point in just being like, oh, the paranormal is like spooky, unless you can like not find an answer for it. That's when I think it really gets like scary. You have to really
Yes.
try to debunk everything.
If you hear anything, and it's you want to just make sure, is there a logical answer for this?
Yes.
Okay.
I see we got some numbers too.
We got some numbers to read after this, so go ahead and finish this story.
All right, so after that happens, it continues for a little bit, and it just slowly dies down. So maybe a minute later, you start hearing like water being lapped up. Like think like a really heavy set dog, like a Saint Bernard or something.
And what kind of dog did you guys have at the time?
What?
Was that just Miko?
No, that's not that far back. That was a Pomeranian.
I was gonna say that's
No, this is it's like a mix between a Jack Russell Terrier and a Corgi. It's a really small looking dog, looks like a sausage with legs.
He is. I know everyone says corgis are cute. This is a demon dog. Anyway, continue.
I mean, he's nice, but he's just loud. But different story. But we start hearing this water getting lapped up, like a really heavy set dog, and like it's loud, like it's almost right next to the tape recorder. Not like it's far away and distant. I mean, literally, like the mic is right there. It sounded like the tape recorder was right here. If this was the water, this is where, yeah. So, yeah, I just wanted to show him, Tim. So the water gets start lapped up, and you start hearing this low growl. Not like an animal, but it almost sounded fake, you know?
Really?
Like, it was like a rumble. And that was not the first time.
A rumbly growl.
Yeah, like a very baritone. Like, it was fucking weird, though. But it was aggressive. Like, really fucking aggressive. And I couldn't help but think about the demon dog in the fridge in Ghostbusters. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. And when I first heard that, I swear to God, like, I started thinking, like, if I start hearing, like, teeth chattering, like, my mind instantly would start going to, like, Hellraiser. If you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, that cheesy scene. And you see the fucking thing pushing the demon. Oh, man. Cheesiness is great. But moving on, not to dwell on that, but yeah, we couldn't really figure that one out at all.
So that's an interesting one.
Yeah, all doors, windows, everything was shut. The water doesn't make any sense. The growl doesn't make any sense. Yeah, but that's just my house for you.
That was number 14. So now we're gonna read some of the ones you guys have asked up.
In descending order.
The first one,
It's 25.
25.
Oh, you were there for this one.
Ooh.
Good pick. This is fun story time.
Thank you, Lewis.
Because this is a long story, but oh my God, this was fucked up. One of the most fucked up things that's happened to us. That was the graveyard on 25. We went to a child cemetery on Route 25.
There's like a little side story I'm gonna have to tell before this. This is the reason why.
You gotta build up to it because that's like everything is what happened in the story in that one day.
I'm talking about what happened to me before then. The first time me and my friends early on, we liked to go to graveyards, go ghost hunting and stuff like that.
Not me.
And yeah, this was with a different group of friends. And we went to this graveyard out on 25 and nothing was really happening. And so we're walking through. You know, basically, I'm just going to summarize because I don't feel like explaining it. I was a fucking dick when I was 17. I basically pissed off this ghost. I really pissed off this one specific ghost. And ever since then, going there has always been weird feelings accompanied by some of the shit that you're about to hear. And this was one of those cases. So why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Well, it all built up from earlier that day. Earlier that day, I got word that my great-grandma had passed away. And me and her were really, really close. Like, she was a great lady. And I just wanted to take my mind off of it. And I ended up calling him. Him and I got together. I forgot where we were going beforehand. I know that we went to that playground where you said that little girl was.
Okay, yeah, that's at a park right by your house, Veronica.
And we know where you live.
They since changed the park, though. We went back there. It's not
the gazebo's gone. They redid everything.
I can't believe the gazebo's gone. Anyway.
But we ended up getting there. There was nothing really going on, and this is back before we really pinpointed what we were doing with the whole paranormal investigations and stuff. It was very winged, on the spot. Didn't have really any equipment besides like a small camera and a tape recorder.
Yes.
And sometimes it is best to do that. I mean, you don't want to overdo it sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
Dilute some of your evidence, I guess.
Yes.
For lack of better terms. But we go there and there's really nothing that is happening. So we're on our way back, and instead of going back to where we were living at the time, or you guys were living at the time, we ended up going to this graveyard, which is in the complete opposite direction. And the weird thing is like, there was a storm that was supposed to hit our town, and nothing hit the town at all.
Like
all
there's
night.
Lightning, you could see lightning
There's
and
a circle.
hear it, but it's around our town. And nothing ever hit that entire night. Nothing hit where we live, which was odd.
No, like, the most we got was, like, maybe a gust of wind. And not even a hard gust of wind, just the wind picked up a little bit.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even until
Occasionally.
later in the night. Like, you could see, like, the lightning and, like, I don't think there were tornado sirens going off in the distance or anything, but like, the entire opening around our town, you could see the sky, you could see the stars and everything. It was unbelievably weird.
Yeah.
However, there was one thing that happened right before we turned towards the graveyard.
Now, was this when I had that CD? When it was like a car full of people and I had the CD? Okay, so there's this Cradle of Filth song.
Hold on. That's not up yet. That's not up yet.
It's not up yet?
No,
Okay.
This is like right beforehand.
Oh,
Because,
okay.
do you remember me saying, I think I just saw a skull in the clouds?
I don't remember that. I
'Cause-
probably blocked that from my mind.
Yeah, because I saw that. I swore my eyes were playing tricks on me, but that's just something I
Who was in
note
the
down.
car? Who was all in the car?
It was you, me, Ryan, and Meat Hanky!
Meat Hanky!
Ah, Rolo. We miss you, Rolo. He's working right now. He's making coffee.
He's making the coffee for people.
Yeah, so that way we could stay awake and do what we need to do.
As I drink my Red Bull.
Sure.
Anyway.
So, I see that in the sky. We ended up going over to the cemetery, and at the time we didn't really know that it was a children's cemetery.
No, it was just like a different side of it. You turn one way instead of going the other.
Yeah.
And it goes to this little wing where it's just a bunch of tiny little gravestones
Yeah.
in this little cordoned off area.
Yeah, I mean, it's more towards the back, but we ended up driving right through the middle of it. So, like, we got the whole front end, which is, like, some of it dates back to early 1900s.
I think I saw some 1800s around in there, I think.
I just keep getting both sides mixed up, because, I mean, it's a really interesting cemetery.
It really is.
It really is. But they have some really dark fucking gravestones there, like some of the statues and stuff. But we end up pulling into this place, and Tim is driving. I'm in the back behind him. Ryan is next to you in the passenger, and Rolo is next to me in the back. And my recount of this is, because I'm not going to speak for you, you can say whatever you want. When we pulled in, like, I just remember we slowed down, we were just like, oh, okay, let's do this. And I remember you either already had the CD ready, or it was, like, just, like, I was waiting to press play the whole time.
I was waiting to press play the whole time.
Okay, because they happened really quick.
Can I explain the CD now?
Fine.
Yes. Okay, so there's this Cradle of Filth song. We found it, huge fans, and we found it, and we were always like, it's the creepiest sounding thing
Hi, Rolo.
you
Hi,
could
Matt.
ever imagine. And hi, Meat Hanky, and hi, Matt. This song is called Dinner at Deviant's Palace. Any of you people who know that song know exactly what I'm talking about. It is Creep fucking City. Hands down the creepiest, spine-chilling song I've ever fucking heard. And
It's definitely, like...
yeah, and we always heard like a rumor that it's supposed to be the Lord's Prayer backwards. Now, this is I guess you might have numbered this differently, so I might be saying another number by saying this part of the story. But, no, this was before we played it backwards.
No, this is all part of the story, dude. This is... This is one long story. This is what I'm saying. Like, all of this was that day.
Basically, we wanted to test that out, and we found a program to reverse the track. And so we reversed it and made a CD of the song forwards and the song backwards. And when we played it backwards, we were at my friend Ryan's house. All the windows are open.
You just jumped the entire story because that's later on.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I thought you meant like it was a different story, but yeah, that did happen. But right when we got there though, like I just remember you slowed down, you had the CD ready, you pressed play, and he had it blasted, like you couldn't hear yourself talk to the person next to you. It's
really tempting. I wish I could just pull it up and actually just play it right now.
I just don't want to get flagged if this is put on YouTube or whatever. You know how they are.
You guys are going to have to look this song up for yourself. It's wonderful.
Yeah, play it at night when you have nothing left to live for, I guess.
So anyway, we start driving through the cemetery listening to this song. And we ended up circling the cemetery, 2-3 times?
I know that we went around the big end once, and then we went into the small end. But then as we came back, all that fog came in.
Yeah, it was, and this, like I said, there's storms all around the city, and nothing above us. There's no clouds directly above us. An occasional wind, but that was it. And when we say, as we turned around the last bend to go back through the graveyard again, there was an intense fog. Like, you could barely see 10 feet in front of you.
But this is the thing, is like, it was like, it was more towards the ground, is from what I remember, is that it stopped because as we were driving, it didn't even go over the road until after we started going around. And then it went the road, and there was a fucking headstone that appeared right in the middle of the road. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I hope you do, because I remember you jerking the car and my head almost hitting the window.
Yeah, because I was like, what the fuck? And so then we're taking this real fucking slow, and we're driving along, and when you make the last turn to head out of the graveyard, you're passing by on one side. The right side of your car is just a line of trees. And on the left side is just a line of fucking gravestones. And as we're passing through, and everyone in the car can confirm this, I would be driving with my headlights on, of course, and as we're passing by next to these gravestones, each one has a dark shadow standing in front of the gravestone.
That was larger than the gravestone. Like, there was a person there.
Like, in every single gravestone. And it was every single fucking one. And we start panicking. But I'm driving. I can't fucking speed out of a graveyard in the middle of the night when there's dense fog. So we just kept going. I just not paying attention to this. Like, fuck all this noise. As soon as we get out onto the street and turn, we look back into the graveyard.
The weird thing, though, from my recount of it, is that right after we got in there and we started circling around, I got to the point where it was just like, all right, you know what, I'm going to close my eyes and not look at anything, because that's when the shadows started appearing. I ducked my head down, and fucking right as I did that, because I hadn't been in the cemetery before, I was on the other side, and that was my first time being in there, and that was at night. So I closed my eyes and I ducked my head down. And in my mind's eye, I could literally see everywhere we were. Like, from an out-of-body personal thing. I don't even know how to recall it. It might have just been me just freaking out, but regardless, I could see everything. But then right when I raised my head back up, everything was as I saw it in my head. And it just tripped me the fuck out. So we end up, after doing that, we ended up leaving and going back over to Ryan's house, where we proceeded to check out the CD and made it forward and backwards.
Before we got home, though, like I was saying, we got out onto the street. We look back into the graveyard. There's no fog. There is no fog anywhere to be seen. We can see all the way to the complete back. So it was like this fog just appeared while we were heading towards the back of it, and by the time we get out, gone.
I know
none of it.
I know there's a thing called like a group hallucination or like group hysteria, but I don't know how that would have happened. You know, to that extent, where everybody was literally saying the exact same thing in real time.
I mean, if that's the case, that's some powerful fucking shit we did right there.
But you guys went back because after we got back, we found out the CD. I was like, I'm not gonna really deal with this too much more tonight because
you were creeped out. You were like,
I've dealt with a lot of shit. So I was like, you guys can go have fun. I know what comes after this.
Yeah, this was well after you had a primary amount of your experiences. We haven't had nearly as much, so this was still kind of really like, holy fuck, what was that? So this is when I jumped ahead earlier, like you said. This was when we were like, let's figure out what this song is backwards. Mm-hmm. And so we do. And it turns out we were right. Everyone on the internet was right. It is the Lord's Prayer backwards. And when you play it backwards and you're hearing it, the Lord's Prayer technically forwards, it is done so fucking creepily. It's like even more creepy than it was before.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like Danny Filth doing it. It sounds like a little baby being choked.
Yeah. And there's like, oh god, okay. It's bringing back memories.
The weird thing, as that was going on, we had one window open.
No, all of them were open.
All of them?
We had he had 1, 2, 3, 4 windows in that whole front area where we were hanging out. All of them were open.
Because all I remember focusing on was, like, if we're at the computer sitting like this, it was in a corner right over there. Mm-hmm. And I just remember every time you guys would play it, the wind would pick up, and, like, literally, it would blow everything out like this.
The curtains would start lifting off. That one window.
Yeah.
And we would hit stop, it would go back down. We would hit play, it would go back up. We would hit stop, it would go back
Without skipping a beat.
We tested this, trust me. We were like 17, 18. We were very tenacious, I guess I'll say. So, like, we kept testing this over and over.
Veronica remembers.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been consistent with these stories. Like, a lot of things have happened, and, like, if they're not worth mentioning, we just don't mention them. But if we're going to talk about, like, true things that have happened to us, like, I mean, yeah, they're all up for speculation and shit, but
everything's always up for speculation.
It's always good to be a skeptic, because otherwise you're just like, I believe everything!
Yeah, you don't want to believe everything.
Yeah, I don't want Casper coming to my house. I don't like Casper.
There's to give a little taste of a future episode, there's one I'm working on right now, and I found a story that is just... moral of the story, ahead of time. Don't believe everything you read.
All right, we're going to... almost like summoning a spell. Yeah, Nikki. That's very true.
Very possible.
Like, every time it was going on, it's like, all right, energy back.
So, needless to say, like he said, we did go back. I made a CD of the song forwards and backwards, and we would play both of them and not leave until they were both done. It was creepy fucking times.
Didn't we play it here once? Like before we did everything with the laptop, and my laptop was like...
I think that was when we had like a group of people here, and we were trying to do like something, trying to do that here. I think we listened to the song out there.
Okay, that makes sense.
I don't know. I
was about to say, like, it sounds like... I remember hearing it, like, somewhat recently, but... Alright, anyway. So the next story, you're done recalling that one?
Yeah, that one was a doozy.
Yes. Nikki picked 77.
77.
Oh, okay, so there was a basement that this girl I knew
It's always
had.
a basement.
Basements
half
are
the
creepy.
Time. It's half
basements
the time.
and attics.
Basements, attics, or a field.
I just don't trust old houses after the one I live in that was built in the 70s, and then the other one that was built in like early 1900s, 1800s, late 1800s. I forgot what the thing was. It's on the movie, The Thing at Melrose.
Anyway, so this girl's basement.
Yeah. So her little sister. I'm not going to name names. Girl 1, I knew. Girl 2 was her sister. Let's put it like that.
Okay.
All right. So girl 1, she always like was kind of creeped out about the basement, but she never would go as far as being like, I think something's down there, or would really go into explanation about why she feels certain ways, and it would kind of hid behind the...
I mean, I remember that basement, actually, and I'll say, from my perspective, it wasn't like a necessarily creepy basement. It was a pretty relatively new house, maybe just a couple years old, and everything was updated, completely finished, and it was actually really fucking nice down there.
It was alongside the river, but in the area that it was known for, a war was fought in the mid 1800s or something like that. But it's essentially a Native American burial ground.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty much all built on top of.
I mean, some of the roads around it are named after like armies and navies and stuff like that. So
Yes.
it just kind of goes with the territory, I guess. But her sister, girl too, she claimed to almost be like a clairvoyant. She could see and talk to things, which at the time her parents kind of demeaned it and like suppressed it, for lack of better words. Just kind of kept blaming it on like some type of mental illness. They wouldn't really hear her out. But
so basically what they do in all the fucking movies when a child is being haunted by something and it's doing a bunch of damage and the kid's like, excuse me, mommy, can you just help me? And they're all like, you're fucking crazy.
I don't know what movie you're watching because I've never seen a kid do that.
Well, I'm just summarizing it.
Can you please help me? No.
I mean, that's basically how it happened. They're always, you're just fucking crazy.
I mean, they always shut out kids because, I mean, kids are imaginative. I was imaginative.
And then the kid gets possessed. At least your parents believed the stories. Anyway, continue with this basement.
That's a whole nother reason why, though.
Yeah. They have their own stories.
Yeah, that correlate with mine. Sometimes you don't find things out until after the fact, and then you start putting everything together, and you're just like... But down in this basement, she kept saying that she could see someone down there. And I always kind of just like... I'm open-minded. I like to hear things. I like to hear everybody's different, prospects and ideas and stuff.
Yeah.
So... I heard her out, like, every time that she had to talk about something. And so she kept saying, like, there's something down there, and I don't feel like it's a good thing, or it's... I guess she also didn't say that it was going to be harmful.
Okay.
Or at least from what she got out of it. It was a really off-putting feeling. Like, when you look at somebody, and they may have, like, a mask on, and you instantly just, like, you don't know if you're just, like, instantly shocked, and you jump, and all of a sudden it's just like, oh.
It takes you a minute to process.
Yeah. So it's more like that, but like a prolonged process, I suppose. But I went down there one time, and I had been down there multiple times before. I actually got shot in the mouth with a BB gun down there. That's funny. I just wanted to say that. But, yeah, that hurt. Actually, in my mouth. But there was something in the back room. They were planning a renovation down there, I remember, because they were dividing the basement. And... while we were down there, something moved in the back room, and maybe like 2 minutes after that, the first girl said like, "Oh, we should all go upstairs." So we're just like, "All right, screw it, like whatever." Didn't really think too much of it, but then I forgot my wallet downstairs, so I had to go back down there. And now I don't know who designed this house, who thought like, "Hey, if you're going down a stair set, you should probably have light, right?" No, they decided to put the fucking light switch at the bottom of the stairs. Yeah, and that controlled the room and the hall light.
Like, that's great. So you have to walk through the hall upstairs and go downstairs in pitch black before you can turn on the light.
Did you ever do that?
No.
Okay, well...
I was in that basement, like, once.
It's not fun.
Doesn't sound it.
Yeah, so I was down there, and just the feeling of eyes just, like, over you. Just, like, if you fuck up, like, the second you turn off that light... like something's going to reach out and grab you. I felt like a kid because I ended up sprinting as fast as I could back up the stairs.
Always.
Yeah, it's just like you turn around and I swear to God, do you remember looking down the stair set and it's not a complete hallway all the way down. On the left-hand side, it opens up because there's the roof and the stairs go down. So you can kind of see into the bottom like left part of the room as you're going down there. There was a thick black shadow in the corner. Nope, didn't go down in that basement like when the lights were off, or be the last person ever again.
Nope.
Whether like believe that or not, it's unsettling when you think that something or someone is there when they're not supposed to be.
Yeah.
But
so we have one more suggestion.
Yes, number 17 as of right now.
17.
Going big.
So like we said before, if you have any experiences you guys want to share, go ahead and post them on up.
Or if you want to pick another number, one between 85, then go for it. Just
have at you.
Yeah, try not to pick the same numbers, otherwise I have to retell the story again.
Yeah, sometimes they're long.
Yeah, and I don't want to use my mouth that often.
That's what you say now.
Oh, you salty spittoon. All right, so 17. This happened really shortly after the whole graveyard incident with the song and everything.
Was this one back at your house?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this was a precursor to something really fucked up that happened to me.
I say, okay, tell this story and then tell that precursor because we can't leave them hanging. Even if they don't guess the number, you need to tell it.
Yeah,
you guys get a little bonus with this choice. Good choice.
Yeah, and if it gets picked to get somebody picks the number and I have to tell that story, then we'll figure it out from there. Okay, so what happened was originally it was the cemetery thing that happened with the shadows and the fog and what have you, and then afterwards I hadn't done anything for quite some time. And he kept going out, but he kept coming over. So there was an idea that if you believe in like residual energy, like you can almost leave your mark on certain things, or like I don't know. There's that belief system where you can like leave energy certain places, which falls into the category of ghosts and spirits and so on and so forth. Or if you've ever heard about like a spirit attaching itself to you, or like a box, or like if you've ever heard of a Dybbuk box, same concept. But he would come over, Ryan would come over, a bunch of my other friends would come over, and all of which who had different dealings with weird, spiritual, and almost demonic things in nature. Well, one night, I'm upstairs in my room, and I'm laying underneath a window, and this room it's a pretty big room. But I'm laying underneath this window. The window's like right up over here. I'm laying on like a crappy ass futon. That
was a great futon, though.
It was so bad. I hated that thing. My back hates it still.
Yeah.
But I'm laying down there. The light's on. The TV's off, and I didn't have a door to my room. So if you just wanted to run up the stairs, you could.
Wouldn't be advisable. These stairs were like super fucking tall and really fucking thin.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many people actually fell down there.
Everyone's eating shit. Their shins have been destroyed on those stairs. This was like this room was like almost like an addition to the house. It was built from where the kitchen is up above the garage. So it, like you said, it was a big fucking room.
It seemed like a last minute choice for somebody to add on to a house with that one little room.
Yeah.
But whatever. It's basically like a shed that they didn't want to go out to. But I turned it into my room.
That was a fun time.
It was. But I'm laying there, and this is in the middle of the night, probably like midnight, maybe 1 in the morning. I just don't sleep sometimes. I mean, all the time. But I'm laying there, and I start hearing a man and a woman like arguing outside, or at least what seemed to be outside. And around the area, people were known to be out really late, drinking, fucking doing whatever they want, partying.
And fighting.
I mean, I've even heard guns go off in the middle of the night, like shotguns, wake you up. But, I mean, you get used to it, as odd as that sounds. And it's not like anybody's shooting at anybody, they're just shooting guns. It's, yeah, very hillbilly, redneck, you know.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It is fun.
But I'm sitting there, and I start hearing this man and woman outside arguing. And you can't really hear what they're saying. It's like that, like very muffled. Very muffled.
Okay.
But you could hear like the aggressiveness in each side. Like you could hear them getting progressively more pissed off at each other. And I'm laying there, and I can't help but like zone into it. And next thing you know, I hear what sounds like a woman screaming, but like a muffled scream. Then I shit you not, I hear glass breaking from like my kitchen.
Right at the bottom of the stairs.
Right at the bottom of the stairs. And somebody fucking runs up my goddamn stairs. All the way up to the top. Like, you hear every step, and it's, like, heavy. Like, all the way up. I literally jumped all the way back like a kid, just holding my blanket up to my face, like, no!
Keep in mind, too, where his bed was. It's like, when the stairs went up...
There was a banister.
Yeah, there was, like, a banister.
I couldn't see around it.
If here are the stairs... Let me get this right. Yeah, there's the stairs. This is the top of the floor, and his bed's on the other side of this banister. So if someone runs up, you can't see them.
They could literally just stand there and like be crouched down, like
and
on the other end.
And you would not hear them.
Yeah,
or see them.
That wasn't good because that was, like I said, a precursor to something that happened Well,
Oh boy.
I had never been marked before until us being really stupid and doing that whole cemetery thing, because all of this spiraled out of control. I had been in a room downstairs in like a computer room, working on one of my stories that I was writing at the time, and I was trying to figure stuff out. And I had long hair around the time, so like my hair kept falling down in front of my face. I kept pushing it back. But every time I would push it back, I would see something out of the corner of my eye in the threshold of the doorway leading out to the hall. So I keep seeing this like almost like a white light walking down the hallway. And I keep trying to time it out like, okay, it keeps happening. What the fuck is going on? Is it a glare from my glasses? What is it? So I finally hold my hair back and I'm like, 1, 2, 3, and I go, look. Now, just like Judd's story that we read at the beginning, he said that this girl's mouth almost came like unhinged. This is very much like what I saw, but I don't know. People could believe me, people might not believe me. I don't really care, but this is what I saw: is the like a brilliant white light that had the outline of what I thought was my grandma, like the one that I said that had passed away, my great grandma, and there's, like I said, a really bright light. Like it's almost like somebody put white out over life, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
And the eyes were black and sunken back into the back of the head. Like it didn't go down to a pinpoint or anything. It was just like there was just an endless void of nothing behind the eyes. And the mouth was like as if somebody grabbed your jaw and broke it down. So it was more extended, like an oval.
Grudge shaped.
Kind of like the Grudge, or the Ring had like the mouth off to the side.
No,
the Grudge was the chick with the cat, or the little kid with the cat.
Oh, okay.
Thing. Yeah, be afraid of cats, man.
Meow. I love kitties.
I mean, that's an interesting urban legend that they have over there about that. But, yeah, so I see this thing, and it's standing there just staring at me. And the moment I looked over, it was like I made eye contact with it. The first thing I looked into was the 2 black dots that it had for eyes. I instantly turned back, and I'm frozen, staring at my computer. Yet I still see it just standing there out of the corner of my eye. And it's just staring at me. And I didn't know what else to say, so the only thing that came to mind was, go ahead. And I like, deep inside I knew what that meant, but I didn't know what that meant. It stops, turns back, and continues down the hallway and vanishes into a room. Never saw it again. However, about maybe a month later, like all of this stemmed from the fucking, the cemetery. Well, one night, I'm laying upstairs, and just like how I did before with the fucking staircase, and somebody ran up, I'm laying there, and TV off, window open, light breeze coming in, no door, and no TV on. I don't know if I already said that, but I'm laying there, and something grabs me by my throat and lifts me off my bed. Now, I fucking kid you not, this thing literally happened to me. I'm laying there, and what feels like pressure right around here, down towards the little divot, is pushed, but then it tightened around the sides. I got lifted up. So imagine you're laying down. So at the waist, you're just going like this, but thrown back into your bed. So my first instinct, right when I wake up, is to swing. Yeah, Tim laughs at this because I say it the same way every time. I thought I punched my fucking cat. It's just
that's not funny. That's not something to laugh at, but just the panic thought you had at that moment is just fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry for interrupting that.
And yeah, it is common to see these things out of the corner of your eye too, Nikki. But yeah, it's always out of the corner of the eye too. Like sometimes whenever like, other than that one instance when I actually looked at it, it almost scared me more because I was just like, I'm there, haha, you can't see me, and it's like, fuck. Why are you hiding? It just puts me on edge. But then you actually see it, and you don't want to see it.
So anyway,
you freeze. But yeah, anyway. So I'm upstairs, and this thing literally is throwing me into my bed. And now I'm in middle school at the time, and so yeah, this is way back. And when I woke up the next morning, there were 3 slices in my neck. like not like a cat or like a human would. It was like somebody took a needle or like a razor blade and just destroyed the first, maybe second layer of skin. And just, it went down. It was maybe like, about that big? About that big? In my neck?
About
just
an inch,
3 of them.
Inch and a half.
Yeah, 3. And so, I just kind of thought that kind of went with the whole like cat thing, even though after I swung, I didn't feel anything. Nothing made any noise, and nothing ran down the stairs. So I can't really say that was a cat or really anything, because even if it jumped from the top of the stairs and landed at the bottom, you'd hear the thud or anything. I instantly went quiet because I was in shock, like, what the fuck just happened? So the next, like, that morning, I see the 3 marks. I'm like, okay. I think it was like another day or maybe another 3 days later, they reappeared on the other side of my neck. Then, another 3 days later, appeared on the other side of my neck. 333.
You've always been tweaked out by that.
I've always been freaked out by that because I was just naturally curious, like, okay, what the fuck? I was just fucking marked by something. Something that I can't explain. I mean, unless something like that has happened to you, you really can't grasp the concept of not knowing what just happened. Like, it's unbelievably unfathomable that something that isn't there touched you, or maybe you did it to yourself. But I don't have nails. I've never really had nails, especially not ones that like can slice you. Let alone like a razor.
Yeah.
And yes, Nikki, this is after the cemetery incident. Maybe maximum 3 months at most.
Yeah.
At most, because everything just started like avalanching after this.
If it was 3 months, what a quinky.
Oh fuck! I didn't even think about that.
Oh man.
Ugh.
So, but I would say we have enough time for like about maybe one more.
Yeah.
We got one more suggestion.
But hold on. The ending of that, the reason why I got freaked out, because I looked it up. They said that if you have claw marks on your neck in 3s, there's a saying goes that the devil's riding your back. Now, I'm not religious or anything like that, but it definitely, puts a thought in your head. If you can't explain it and somebody's giving you an answer, you more or less got to take that answer, right? I mean, unless you have something better that you can go off of.
Yeah, unless something better comes along.
Yeah. But not to drag on that one. What was the thing you said?
Down right there. Veronica has said number 5.
Number 5. Oh, yeah, this dates back almost around the first time that weird shit started happening to me. Weird stuff started happening to me at the age of 5. This was probably around age 8 or 9. So I'm like
So this is right around the time we met.
Yeah. So because I mean, it has to do with Joey.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not gonna say his last name, but it has to do with Joey. This is back when like we were kids. We just hung out in my room, fucking played video games, did really whatever. And one night he's crashing over at my place, and we decided to play hide and seek. So I'm sure you guys can see where this is going. And around this time, you could hear this actually brought up by Pat Hess in one of our other podcasts. One of the first things I told him is that I thought the closet behind the main door was haunted by a little girl.
Okay.
And so that's where like certain things started like coming from. Just the ideas of like the house being haunted, other than like my first couple experiences. Like I said, we started playing hide and go seek. He decided to run around to one room, hide into the other room while I wasn't looking type deal. So I was like, little bastard. So it was more like hide and go seek tag than anything, which made things complicated. And I didn't believe him when he said that he wasn't in this room, because I ended up going back into my old like childhood bedroom, and I had a bunk bed. And this bunk bed was in the shape of a T. Like the top bunk over, the other one came out like this. And the bottom bed was lifted up pretty high, enough to where like a little child could easily crawl underneath, So I'm thinking that he's probably either under the bed or in the closet, because there was just like a mound of clothes in there.
Yeah, I hid in that closet many times.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was perfect. If you bury yourself, like, even if they're in there, you don't see
You
them.
didn't find me in there that
Exactly.
one time.
Exactly. Which is exactly why I thought he was in the closet. So I'm looking in there. I'm moving everything around. I'm not kidding. I have the light on, and I'm moving everything around. He's not in there. So I'm like, all right. I'm about to leave the room. Out of the corner of my eye, I see the bed sheet lift up like this and then go back down. The vents are... Yeah, there's one vent underneath the bed, but there is nothing on. Like, it's in the middle of the summer. We don't have centralized air, and there's no point to put the heat on in the summer.
Yeah.
So I just was like, all right, so obviously he's underneath the bed. So I go over to the bed. I literally lifted the whole fucking bed up, and there's nothing. So I just stopped, and I'm like, okay, what the fuck? I turn and I leave the room. Now, I forgot to mention, I closed the bedroom door when I went in there. So I don't know how he would have gotten out. So I leave. I walk around. I check all the other bedrooms while still watching in my bedroom. Just like, maybe he, like, I don't know what he would have done. Well, it gets to the point where I'm just like, all right, action free, just come out, fuck it. Well, he comes out from the bedroom. Yeah. So I'm kind of like shocked at that. Just, where the fuck were you hiding? He said he was in the closet. And I'm like, where were you hiding in the closet? I literally ripped it apart. And he points, we go back in there, and he points to the same spot that I had just literally torn apart. Now, the entire time after leaving that room, I had my eyes on the bedroom. He couldn't have left. He couldn't have, like, ran in there or anything. He had already been in that room in some fashion, but the only two real hiding spots were under the bed and in the closet. And he, to this day, I don't know him anymore. He kind of vanished, but I mean, from the last time I talked to him, he still said that wasn't him. I mean, even if he said it was, how did he just disappear?
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. Weird shit happens to kids,
It's always kids, too.
It is.
The innocent ones.
The innocent ones.
Oh, well, as all the paranormal episodes, this one was fun.
Oh, yeah.
And I still am very curious about watching the beginning of this video and seeing the feed, see if it messes up, like a couple people were saying.
Oh, I kind of put that back part of my mind and completely forgot that was a thing. Shit.
Yeah, it's always the paranormal story episodes.
It really is. Like that, or like if we're getting ready to do something like that.
Yeah.
It always is.
Well, as always, like, subscribe, follow, click that bell, stay notified.
Indeed, and thank you all for joining, commenting, and sharing your experiences with us, because we enjoyed it.
Yes, and if you'd like to join in on some of these episodes, like we said, follow us on Facebook, and just kind of pay attention to all the new stuff we're posting. Occasionally we're going to be doing these live episodes. Not every time.
Not every time, but...
This was fun last week, so we decided to do it again.
Yeah, so more interaction we get, the more stuff we'll be doing, so... Get those stories ready, get your art ready, send it to WitchesHillRadio@gmail.com or post it on our group page or what have you. And until then, we will see you next Wednesday at 6.
Take it easy, guys.
Witches Hill.